Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, now at 6, a Waterbury woman accused of a horrific crime is behind bars tonight. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Police say 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan held her stepson against his will for more than 20 years. She's charged with assault, kidnapping, and cruelty. Police say they uncovered evidence that the man had been starved, abused, and neglected for 2 decades.
Now, police say last month Sullivan's home caught on fire. Her 32-year-old stepson told investigators that he set it intentionally because he said, quote, "I wanted my freedom."
Sullivan denies the allegation. She's being held right now on a $300,000 bond.
Our Kay Pattyfoot is covering the story. She'll have more coming up in the next 30 minutes.
In other news tonight, in Waterbury, police are investigating a tragic case of domestic violence. They say a man stabbed and killed the mother of his child in their home.
And today he faced a judge for the first time.
Fox 61's Jamal Johnson, he was in the courtroom and got to speak with the victim's family today.
Yeah, guys, 70 Lounsbury Street. It was a site of where a family lived before police say the man living there stabbed and killed the woman who he shares a 19-year-old daughter with. Now, that man appeared in Waterbury Superior Court for his arraignment. 39-year-old Julio Arad Figueroa.
Full appointment, Your Honor.
Faces charges after police say he stabbed 39-year-old Yomaira Vargas Martinez. It all happened Tuesday. Police say the domestic fight escalated, and before it turned deadly, their 19-year-old daughter tried to intervene. After Martinez was stabbed, police say she escaped the apartment and made her way to the grocery store across the street. That's where police found her with multiple stab wounds. She was rushed to the hospital where she died of her injuries.
These charges are severely alarming. I would ask for bail not to exceed $1 million. I think that amount would be sufficient to hold him, Your Honor.
Prosecution argued for a $2 million bond, which Superior Court Judge Joseph Schwartz granted. Family and close friends of Vargas Martinez came to Figueroa's arraignment. Andre Vega was one of those close friends.
Lo que queremos es justicia. We just want justice for that guy. Queremos justicia and we want justice y eso es lo que yo quiero, que se pudra. That's it.
Vega spoke highly of Vargas Martinez's character.
Real good friend of mine's, close by, family member, loving person, cared about everybody else.
We asked Vega if Vargas Martinez ever indicated that she felt unsafe, but
danger. That'll be all.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Sorry.
His emotions prevented him from speaking further. Superior Court Judge Joseph Schwartz has scheduled his next court date for March 19th. After our interview with Vega, he pulled us aside and he said he just wants to send a message to everybody going through any type of domestic violence dispute, domestic violence relationship, to please speak up because it can save lives. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
After 25 years, God has answered our prayers and blessed us with a chance to know her again.
Heavy emotions out of a New Haven this afternoon. The family of Andrea Reyes is in tears as they prepare to be reunited with their daughter, who was kidnapped back in the 1990s.
Yeah, the case had gone cold but started to pick up again back in 2023 before police announced they had found Reyes last week. Fox 61's Stefan Reel spoke with the family and police and has the latest details of where things stand out of New Haven.
For the past 25 years, the family of Andrea Reyes has held out hope that they would one day be able to reunite with their daughter after she was kidnapped at the age of 2 years old back in 1999. Her father tells me that he had planned several trips to Mexico just to follow up on any lead of the whereabouts of his daughter. Now, 25 years later, a once cold case is beginning to thaw and near its end. Police say Reyes' mother, Rosa Tenorio, kidnapped her during a routine visitation and then escaped to Puebla, Mexico, more than 2,600 miles away. Tenorio did not have custody of Reyes, only visitation rights. New Haven PD started an investigation, but the Mexican government claimed this did not violate the treaty they had with the U.S., since Tenorio was Reyes' biological mother. So the Mexican government could not return Tenorio to police in the U.S. The case went cold until 2023, when newly appointed NHPD Detective Kaylin Nivikov determined there was still some solvability in the case. And with the help of social media warrants and a DNA test, were able to identify Reyes and connect her to her father, who tell us the two have talked over the phone and through Messenger.
It was a moment of joy, but with the understanding that the process is not over.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are going to help facilitate and fund a reunification, but that process is going to be private.
At the moment, police tell me Tenorio is still believed to be living in Mexico, but she still has an active warrant out for her arrest. So the moment she steps foot back into the United States, she will be taken in. But for now, in New Haven, Stefan Reels, Fox 61.
The moment when they're reunited going to be very emotional. All right, Stefan, thank you. Turn to the weather now. It's a bit cooler today, but don't worry, those warmer temperatures will be returning.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank here with the first check of the forecast. Rach, I know the cool down has really just started, but we're interested in when the warm up comes.
You don't have to wait very long.
All right.
I mean, Friday. We're already looking at temperatures that are in the 50s to near 60 degrees. And that's pretty much where we've spent a lot of this week so far, which is why it is weird that we have the chance for a sprinkle or flurry in parts of the state tonight. We started off the day with lots of sun, but look at how things have clouded up here for the New Haven area. Now, even though we're seeing a lot of stuff showing up on the radar, the air is super dry. So a lot of this is falling from the sky and evaporating before it reaches the ground. That being said, as we head through the evening tonight, we will see a rising chance for a light rain or snow shower. Temperatures are in the 40s to near 50. So obviously, if you're heading out and about tonight and you do see a shower, we wouldn't expect any slippery spots from that. But I wanted to show you through the evening tonight, 10 o'clock. Again, a few sprinkles out there. Same is true around midnight. But as temperatures drop, again, that could change over to a few wet snowflakes. This should be over with by daybreak tomorrow. If there is a renegade slippery spot, I think it would be the exception rather than the rule. But check in with the morning show crew just in case. Overnight lows will be in the low to mid 30s inland, mid to upper 30s for the shoreline. We're near 50 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about some rain later this weekend coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. We have an update tonight in the case of a McDougal Walker inmate accused of murder. Kyle McKinnon appeared in court today. He's accused of strangling his cellmate to death back in December before dumping the body in the cell block common area. Troopers say McKinnon confessed to the murder. Well, today, his attorney told the judge they are waiting for discovery before deciding whether to proceed with a probable cause hearing. McKinnon also waived a bond hearing. He is next scheduled to appear in court in April. Well, new details from New Haven tonight. Police say a man is back in custody after he escaped from a police cruiser this morning. Connecticut State Police say David Tate managed to get out of the cruiser as he was being brought to prison to be processed on charges of escaping a halfway house. New Haven police helped state police track the prisoner down and bring him back into custody. Some schools were briefly locked down around the prison during that time. He now faces even more charges and will be arraigned in court tomorrow.
Let's go to Newington now, where a group of tenants at Victory Gardens say they are facing retaliation after forming a tenant union. They claim management is making unfair changes to their living situation. Victory Gardens residents say they've been told they'll lose access to their basements by this coming June, even though that was a key feature when they moved in. They believe it's a direct response to organizing for better conditions and claim management was ignoring their concerns.
Access to the basements was a point that was highlighted through our walkthrough. This has only become an issue now that Victory Gardens has a tenant union. It wasn't an issue before.
When you make a promise to the tenant union that you will come to an agreement with the tenant union over basic human dignity, and when you decide to walk away from signing that agreement, it's not acceptable. And
tenants say they've also dealt with restricted access to community spaces and unfair eviction notices. A petition calling for the removal of the property manager has gathered support from 80% of the community. We reached out to Neighborhoods, the property management company, for comment on this and are still waiting to hear back.
Well, President Trump's 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports are now in effect. Last month, the president said the new tariffs will help create more factory jobs in the U.S. He also plans to tax imports from the European Union, Brazil, and South Korea starting April 2nd by charging reciprocal rates or rates equivalent to what those nations already impose on American goods. Still, the European Union has now announced retaliatory tariffs on $28 billion worth of American goods.
And tonight, Bristol police, they're investigating a crash that killed a 22-year-old man early this morning. The crash happened near the intersection of Witches Rock Road and Cove Road just before 1 a.m. Police said it appeared that the driver was thrown from the vehicle. Medics tried to save his life, but he was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. If you know anything about this crash, you're asked to call the Bristol Police Department.
Well, Middletown police are investigating the death of a man who was hit by a car while crossing the street.
Fox 61's Kaylee Collins has the details on this crash and how people in Middletown are reacting.
Well, that man was attempting to cross Washington Street in the area of High Street here, and police say that he was walking along a marked crosswalk. There's also a pedestrian call button in this area, but people who live and work in Middletown say that this particular area is just dangerous in general for people who are walking. People in Middletown are pleading for greater roadway safety.
What if that was your family member? What would you do?
After a man was killed crossing the street.
It's pretty crazy.
Police say they got reports of a pedestrian-involved crash just before 10 on Tuesday night along Washington Street. When they got to the scene, they found a man on the ground with serious injuries and a Toyota Camry with damage to the front end of the car. The man died from his injuries, and the driver was not seriously hurt. Though police are still investigating what led up to the crash, people who often walk on Washington Street call it a problem area.
So I definitely see a lot of fast driving. It's a very dangerous road to be on.
The sad part, it doesn't even surprise me. Every year it gets worse and worse.
They hope further crashes and deaths can be avoided in the future.
And I would put on a whole bodysuit, just have something like reflectors or something just in case. You know, I can understand accidents happen, but it goes to it's not enough.
The Middletown Police Department's Traffic Division continues to investigate this crash. They ask anyone with information to reach out. Reporting in Middletown, Kaylee Collins, Fox 61.
Thank you, Kaylee. We have an update tonight from Animal Haven in North Haven. Sarge, the dog who mauled a volunteer last week, was put down today. Veterinarians told the shelter it was necessary to euthanize him because his behavior was, quote, pathologically abnormal and untreatable. And we learned the volunteer suffered level 5 bites to her face. That's just one level away from death. She's had reconstructive surgery, and we're told she will need more. The volunteer is being treated for rabies as well, just in case. But Animal Haven does say Sarge was vaccinated for rabies.